rampant, and the country is at risk of defaulting on its debt. Robin Forestier-Walker reports.
Poverty flourishes in the shadow of these mountains. The ramshackle town of AlJazeera, population 15,000, the houses were built illegally on private land by rural poor seeking opportunity just outside the capital Bishkek. The Doronov family has no running water, no electricity, and no local school to educate the children. Times are hard. Food price inflation is the highest in the region, up as much as 40% from this time a year ago. After the revolution in April last year, it looked as if the fortunes of the people in this town had changed because suddenly electricity pylons began to appear. But after the elections and the formation of the new coalition government, the work ceased. And the people here remain cut off, not just from the grid, but from the wider society. One explanation is that there is no public money to finish projects like this. The government has pledged to increase the budget this year by 37%, but acknowledges substantial problems.
We have a budget with a deficit and a stagnant economy. Our first priority has been to stabilise the economy through elaborate mechanisms that could provide us with results this year.
That includes raising tax revenues, but 70 to 80% of all the money in Kyrgyzstan flows through the underground economy. And critics say this, above all, must be addressed.
They're not trying to, work with the current situation that we have with the grey economy and see how we can attract those businesses, those entrepreneurs, to come into the official sector and start paying taxes.
The quick fix for Kyrgyzstan will inevitably be aid and loans from international donors, but that means continuing dependency and debt. While towns like AlJazeera remain a symbol of sickness at the root of the Kyrgyz economy. Robin Forestier-Walker, AlJazeera, AlJazeera, Kyrgyzstan.
India has sentenced 11 men to death for an arson attack which left dozens dead and led to big riots. Another 20 people have been jailed for life. 59 passengers, most of them Hindu, died in the 2002 train fire in Gujarat state. Politicians blamed Muslims, sparking riots that left up to 2,000 dead. All the suspects are Muslim, and some relatives say that they were set up for political reasons. New Zealand came to a standstill on Tuesday as the nation marked exactly a week since a powerful earthquake struck. The city of Christchurch bore the brunt of the disaster. Police say that up to 240 people may have been killed. Veronica Pedrosa reports.
A Maori elder calls to welcome the living and mourn the dead. The Prime Minister and top officials bow their heads. Bricks from the ruins of Christchurch symbolise the devastation around them. And New Zealand stopped, a week to the minute since a powerful earthquake. Emergency crews from around the world too silenced their jackhammers. They joined millions of New Zealanders in sombre tribute. 2 minutes of silence to remember the dead and missing. Prime Minister John Keyes called it one of New Zealand's darkest days. The official death toll is still rising.
The number is fluctuating, but the figure that you've quoted of around 240 is solidifying.
A major inquiry has been promised to find out why so many buildings collapsed in Christchurch, a city that was supposed to be quake-proof. The finance ministers warned the earthquake's likely to wipe out any growth in New Zealand's already struggling economy. As if things weren't bad enough, Christchurch is still experiencing violent aftershocks, opening cracks in the ground, threatening to cause landslides and rattling residents' already frayed nerves. The destructions also revealed secrets of the past within this destroyed statue of Christchurch's founder. These documents are thought to be historic and appear to hold a message from the city's founders about their vision.
And I'm hoping there'll be some very interesting thoughts and visions in here, and to honour not just those who founded this place, but those who have given their lives as a result of this dreadful earthquake.
Though it has killed so many and destroyed so much, in a way the earthquakes also brought back to life the voices of people long dead. Veronica Pedrosa, Al Jazeera.
The German defence minister has resigned over a plagiarism row. Karl Theodor zu Guttenberg stepped down after he was allegedly found to have copied large parts of his doctoral thesis. Guttenberg was considered the most popular member of Angela Merkel's cabinet, until recently a possible candidate for chancellor. Merkel says she was surprised by his resignation and accepted it with a heavy heart. This is Al Jazeera, and these are the stories making the headlines. With Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi under mounting pressure, there are fears over his next move. People in the opposition-held town of Nalut say pro-Gaddafi paramilitary forces are on the outskirts, reportedly armed with anti-aircraft guns. In another opposition stronghold, AlJazeera, there are reports that food supplies into the city are being blocked. There are growing tensions at Tunisia-Libya border, where thousands of people are trying to cross into Tunisia. Al Jazeera's correspondent there reports chaotic scenes, with some people attempting to climb over the border wall. Tunisian security forces fired into the air in an attempt to hold back the crowds on Tuesday. Meanwhile, the Libyan leader has laughed off suggestions that he should leave the country. In an interview with international media, he also denied using airstrikes against protesters, but admitted planes had bombed some military sites. Yemen's president has hit out at Israel and the United States, saying they're behind the unrest sweeping his country and the Arab world. More protests calling for President Ali Abdullah Saleh to step down are being held in the capital Sana'a on Tuesday. And a senior Yemeni cleric has become the latest high-profile figure to join the anti-government movement. Tunisia's interim prime minister is likely to announce the creation of a constitutional council by Wednesday. That's just coming in from the Reuters news agency. And one of the main opposition parties in Tunisia has been given legal permission to participate in politics after being banned for years. The Islamist Al Nahda party, which means Renaissance, is led by Rachid Ghannouchi. He returned from exile in London in January after President Zine El Abidine Ben Ali was ousted. In Zimbabwe, few people appear to have turned out for a million-citizen march demanding that President Robert Mugabe step down. In recent days, more than 40 opposition activists have been arrested and charged with treason. They were detained while attending a lecture on North African anti-government protests and have been accused of plotting an Egyptian-style uprising. Police in the Democratic Republic of Congo have arrested more than 30 people after an attempted coup. The government said up to 60 armed men attacked the president's house on Sunday, killing 7 people. Leader Joseph Kabila wasn't at home at the time. And those are the headlines. The news continues here on Al Jazeera after Riz Khan, so do stay with us if you can. Thanks for watching.